What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast, episode number 71. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about and with a bunch of different college coaches from across the area at the Division 1, 2, and 3 level. Super excited to release this, guys. It's been a lot of work, a lot of fun talking to all these different coaches from around the area. Super excited to get into it. But if you haven't already, go back, check out my long form interviews that I released this summer. Joe Marcara, Mackenzie McGuire, Ty McGeary, and just recently Rob Walker, who I just sat down with, episode number 70. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, go back and check out those long form episodes. I really enjoyed having those guys over. And coaches, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, taking time out of your busy schedule this time of year. I know it's a lot, sitting down and talking about your squad. But yeah, man, a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this edition of the NCAA preview, brought to you by Switch Custom Apparel.
Okay, joining me now, we have head coach of Millersville University, Coach Jerry Bolin. How are you, sir?
Good, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing really good indeed. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. I'm so excited to talk about your program, Millersville University. What's it like coaching at a D2 university?
Uh, I've been fortunate enough to coach at two different universities at the Division two level. Two totally different universities. One was actually a small college out in West Virginia, Davis and Elkins. I coached there for 3 years, and just last year I moved over here to Millersville, much larger school, going from 600 students to about 7,000 students. So, goals are the same. You're recruiting guys that are you know, top-notch elite athletes that are looking to, graduate in 4 or 5 years, and the degrees are priority there. We don't have a ton of scholarship money, so it's not like I'm throwing full rides at guys. So recruiting has to be pretty crafty, things like that. So
Gotcha. How's the off-season program gone for you guys?
our preseason was pretty awesome this year. We came in. We only lost three guys last year. We lost three seniors last year. One of them, actually, two of them were injured all year, and one never really got cleared. So we had three seniors that never even made the lineup due to unfortunate circumstances. So we pretty much have all 10 starters returning, plus all our depth. We did bring in 10 freshmen and a transfer, and they've just blended right in. One of the third, fourth day of preseason, my assistant coach Ryan Whittle said, he's looking around. He's like, it's like we never left, and we just had 10 new guys join the room. I mean, it's like they just picked right up, and the intensity was right there, and they jumped right in.
Coach, talk to me about that. I find that is like one of the interesting questions this year. With the transfer portal being how it is, how do you guys balance the transfer portal versus high school guys?
To be honest with you, I don't spend a ton of time in the transfer portal. Um, I look at it, and a guy has to be really unique to be in the transfer portal and probably come to Millersville. Like I said, our scholarship money's not we don't have a ton. We have some, but more often than not, a guy in the transfer portal that wants to be competitive at the Division two level is probably being offered a pretty good scholarship somewhere else. So it has to. If I'm getting someone out of the transfer portal, it's more likely going to be a local guy, someone that's either our transfer this year was Nick Catone, who was a two-time state qualifier out of New Jersey. I recruited him out of Davis and Elkins. He gave it a shot there when I left. It just didn't work for him, and he ended up visiting Millersville and liking what we had to offer.
That's good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Uh, you talked about Coach Ryan Whittle. Who are some of the other coaches that are helping you lead the charge?
Um, we have three other local guys. We have Cody Mason, who wrestled. He was at Jersey Shore, wrestled at Lock Haven for a little bit. We have Jonah Barley, um, helping out. He's a two-time state place winner. Right? Just graduated from Cornell, and then we have Stephen Luoso, who was a state champ from Lancaster Catholic, national qualifier for Drexel. So we have pretty good staff.
I love that. Okay, so how do you guys handle wrestle offs? This is the first time I've ever had you guys on. I find that as an interesting question. Some guys are like, let's put them on stream, let's put them under lights. Other guys are like, behind closed doors, I'll figure it out myself. What's your approach?
Um, yeah, we have our black and gold meet, which is it comes out. It's coming up on October 28th. It is what we would call final wrestle off. But my guys know we have a schedule that's pretty conducive to having other tools to find out as coaches to find out who our top guys are in each weight class. Yeah, the wrestle off at the beginning of the year is going to tell us something to start the year just to get out of the gate. But that's it. I don't have a ton of wrestle offs throughout the year. You pretty much know what you have in a room by watching and observing and just talking to guys and just seeing them compete on the mat. We wrestled in 3 tournaments first semester, 3 tournaments second semester, so we get to see these guys in action. A lot of common opponents. So wrestle offs are 90% what we use to gauge our starters.
Gotcha. Bishop McCoy, Whippio boy. I love my Whippio boys. I see him on your roster. Talk about his presence on your roster.
Bishop's the man. Like he's kind of like the gentle giant on the team. But everybody knows he's super talented. He's super athletic. I mean, he's a big dude. Everybody, you can see that his presence is known as he's just definitely steps on the mat. He's a big dude, but I mean, he can do backflips and all kinds of crazy stuff. Like he's a lot of fun to have in the room. He's a great team guy. Everybody on the team likes him. He likes everybody on the team. I can't say enough good things about him. He's just a great guy to have on the team. I take him to war with me.
So how did that form it, and what do you think of the Whippio, man? For me, I think that 6, 7, 8 deep in the Whippio can wrestle at all these different colleges. You guys being one of them, they're just tough, hard nosed kids. Am I right?
I agree 100%. Like when I was at Davis and Elkins, I tried to get Western PA kids all the time because it was pretty close in proximity. We started getting more of those before I left. Now I came back here. I'm a little more east, and I'm going to try to work my way out there. Like I said, we got Bishop right now. I had a kid in on Monday, another kid coming in on Friday from the Whitfield. So it's it's an area I definitely Pennsylvania, New Jersey, like you don't have to go far to recruit here. Recruit tough, grinding kids. You know what I mean? So, and that's like you said, you don't necessarily have to be a state place winner in those states to do well. You could be just on the edge, region qualifier, match away from states, and just still hungry and still have that toughness. That hey, like you said, put me in a tough room where guys are going to push me every day, and I'm going to get there. And that's they're the kind of guys we're looking for.
Okay. Next thing I have for you, the schedule. After wrestle offs are over, you guys got your guys. You have your guys. How do you build those guys and get them ready for regionals and nationals?
So we built a pretty tough schedule this year. We have multiple Division One opponents for duels. We have our Shorty Hitchcock Open, which attracts I'd say 80 probably 80% Division One wrestlers. We go to the F&M Open. Last year we were the only non-Division One team there. So we like I said, we built a pretty tough schedule. Not to mention the PSAC itself, which is it's a pretty tough conference, when it comes down to it. I think at one point last year, 5 of the PSAC schools were ranked in the top 15. So, just the conference schedule alone gives us competition. But, there's the tournaments we go to, the opens. Like I said, we bring most of our team, if not all of our team. That gives those guys a chance to develop too, and also gives us a look at, common opponents within the room and stuff like that.
Okay, Coach. Any streaming options, or how can we watch you guys wrestle?
On our website, we have the PSAC network that you go straight to the PSAC network, or you can just go to our website, and each each opponent in our schedules, it has the link embedded in there. So that's an opportunity. Even our black and gold meet will be televised stream.
Love that. Love that. Okay. Do you guys have a warm up game that you guys use? Like
Yeah,
dodgeball, something like that?
yeah.
He said, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it's they call it kill ball. It's basically it's probably not terminology appropriate, but that's just what they call it.
Of course.
I inherited the game when I got there, and it's just they just love it. Every man for himself. They get two up. They get two outs before they get two times before they get hit before they're out. They have opportunities to come back in. It's loud. It's exciting. And I mean, when we start practice with kill ball, the energy in our room is pretty high to begin with, but kill ball just adds another dimension. Like it just amps it up even more. So.
I love that. Good stuff, Killball. What a great name, and it's definitely appropriate. It sounds intense, and
It's yeah, you're in the arena there, and your life's at stake for sure.
yeah. Marky and the co-host of mine, we played partner dodgeball. Was the high school game that we played growing up, and that was a blast. So, but yeah.
Yep.
All right. So next question I have, your first time guest here on the show. Give me your favorite near fall or pin you've ever been a part of, either as a fan, a wrestler, coach. Just your favorite near fall or pin you've ever been a part of.
My favorite
Yes, sir.
that I personally was involved in.
So it could be either like I have it answered a bunch of different ways to me. Like you're wrestling a match yourself, you punch your ticket to make the national finals, or you're coaching a kid that is finally getting over the hump and picks up a near fall or decks a kid to get to the nationals or whatever the case may be. Uh, I've seen it as a teammate getting over the hump or winning a big duel. So there's a myriad of different ways you can answer the question.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them. Let's see. I guess one that sticks out is my first year when I was coaching at Cinnamin's in high school in my first year, and we had it was a young team. It was basically a bunch of sophomores and juniors, and we were wrestling a senior heavy team, and they had a big senior on their team who was all jacked up, and I had a sophomore. To 215-pounder at the time, and
Let's go. That was
he
my weight class. Let's go.
yeah. So, and our guy was he was ready to blossom into a star. Like he was a budding star at the time, just people didn't know him. And this kid, picked him up and like kind of threw him out of bounds. Picked our guy up and kind of threw him out of bounds after the whistle. And he just looks over to me and he kind of winks. And I was like, "Yeah, we got this." And it was at their place, so their fans were going nuts and everything like that. So this kid came at him, locked up, and our guy lateral dropped him and stuck him and won the duel for us. And it was it was like it put him on the map, and it was just a real cool moment. I mean, that's when that lateral drop became like his signature move, all the way up through his fifth place finish at heavyweight his senior year.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible story. What was the crowd like? Like a pin drop after that, I'm sure.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, you could have heard a pin drop. That's for sure. I was going to say another word, but yeah, another term, but we'll keep it a little more clean.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, coach, anything or anyone you want to shout out before I leave you go?
Honestly, I just give a shout out to my guys. It's a great crew. It's a crew that I just can't give enough props to. They have their priorities straight. They hold each other accountable. They they keep the energy high in the room. They come to practice ready to work every day, and they're just a lot of fun to be around. We laugh and just we know each other real well. We know how to push each other's buttons, and it's a good group. It's a good environment to be in. So just give them a shout out because being a student athlete at college in college is not an easy task. But they keep their ducks in a row for most of the time, and we we benefit from it.
Good stuff, coach. Thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it.
Coach, last thing I got to ask you